Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I would like to say thank you for coming to my presentation. It's great to see you all. Okay, let me introduce myself. My name is Tarisa Melyana Sari, and I am a student from Faculty of Economic, Accounting major Sultan Agung Islamic University. My regards to Mrs. Sari Praptawati as ASM Home College Lecturer for English Language. Before I present the material, I will explain the purpose of this presentation. The purpose of this presentation is to educate all of us here, especially parents, about the social issues that our youth is currently experiencing. Advances in technology mean today things are affecting issues that no previous generation has ever seen. While some issues aren't exactly new, electronic media has changed or amplified some of the struggle young people face. The prevalence of digital communication has changed the way teens interact with their peers and romantic interests. Because of these many things, like essential interpersonal communication skills like knowing how to pick up on social cues. Much of this dysfunction can be linked to the overuse of technology. The social media and texting habit as well as how they consume media is changing the way they communicate, date, learn, sleep, exercise, and more. In fact, the average teens spends over 9 hours or more each day using their electronic devices. Here are the top social problem teens struggle every day. To begin with, depression. According to the National Institute of Mental Health, an estimated 3.2 million adolescents in the United States had at least one major depressive episode in 2017. That means about 13% of teenagers may experience depression before reaching adulthood. Spending too much time on electronic devices may be preventing young people from in-person activities with their peers such as sport, which can help ward off depression. They also experience new conditions like fear of missing out or FOMO, which further leads its feeling of loneliness and isolation. Next, obesity. According to the Center of Disease Control and Prevention, about 20% of 12 to 19 years old are obese, with Hispanic and Black children more likely to be overweight. Aside from the fact that overweight can be are often targeted by bullies, obese kids also are at much greater risk of lifelong health problems such as diabetes, arthritis, cancer, and heart disease. They also may struggle with body image issues or develop eating disorder as an unhealthy way of changing their appearance. But parents are not always aware of these issues. In fact, surveys show parents are bad at recognizing when their kids are overweight. They then hate and underestimate their child's size and the risk associated with being overweight. And next, social media. Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter can be great ways for teens to consult with one another, but social media can be problematic for several reasons. For instance, social media can be expose your teen to cyberbullying, slut-shaming, and so much more. And while there are some benefits to social media, there are a lot of risks as well. Social media can have negative impact on friendship and is changing the way teens date. It can even impact their mental health, but no matter what precautions you take, teens are still likely to be exposed to unsavory people, unhealthy image, and sexual content online. Next, sexual activity. Based on the 2017 Youth Risk Behavior Surveillance data, 39.5% of high school students report being sexually active. That means sexual activity had declined slightly over the past decade. Fortunately, the teen birth rate has declined over the past decade as well. Birth to teen age 15 to 19 account for 5.0% of all births in 2017. The decline in pregnancy doesn't necessarily mean teens are using protection. However, of the 20 million new sexually transmitted diseases each year, more than half were among young people between the age of 15 and 24. Parents may not be aware that their children are sexually active, however. Next, alcohol use. As of 2017, alcohol use and binge drinking showed a significant decline among teenagers. Despite the decline, 29.3% of high school seniors still report drinking alcohol within the past month. Talk to teens about the risk of underage drinking and educate them about the dangers, including the fact that alcohol can take a serious toll on a teenager's developing brain. Also, don't shy away from expressing your disapproval of underage drinking. Saying you don't approve can make a big difference in whether you've been decides to drink. Okay, next, how to talk your teen. Bringing up any difficult subject with your teen can feel uncomfortable, and your teen isn't likely to respond well to a lengthy lecture or to many direct questions. But having a conversation with your teen about difficult issues is not something you should stay away from, even when it seems like they aren't listening. You are the most influential person in your teen's life. It is important to lay strong foundation before the window of opportunity closes. A good way to strike up a conversation about drug, sex, bullying, and other uncomfortable situations is to ask a question like, do you think this is a big issue at your school? Listen to what your teen has to say. Try not to be judgmental, but make your expectation and opinions clear. It is important to your teens understand that you don't condone certain behavior and that they know the consequence of breaking your rules. I think communication between parents and teen is the most important bit to prevent all bad things from happening to the child. Thank you for your attention and enthusiasm of the audience. May this mysteries be profitable and instructive for all of us. May I apologize for any verbal mistake. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.